First, I would like to say thank you for watching our video. We are from Group 3, Computer System of Universitas Sriwijaya. In this opportunity, we would like to present about adjective clause. Before we start our video, let me introduce myself and my partner to you guys. Hello, I'm Fenny Anggraini.
Hello, my name is Putri Shobiroh Utami.
Hello, my name is Fadham, Imam, Assidiqie.
Hello, my name is Mahbub Amrullah.
So, now let's move on to the presentation. Check it out. Hello everybody! Today I'm going to explain about adjective clause and relative pronoun as subject. So the first, we must know what is a definition of adjective clause. So I will invite you to flashback about the meaning of adjective. Okay, adjective has a function to describe a noun. When the adjective changes into a clause, we will get a definition. Adjective clause is a subclause served to explain a noun. So, like that, definition, an adjective clause is a dependent clause that modifies a noun or pronoun. Okay, when there is a subclause, of course, there will be a main clause. Main clause is the main, subclause is the clause that just follow of noun clause. Adjective in here already a clause, not only like handsome, beautiful. No, that's wrong. So we can conclude of adjective clause is a clause that has a position as an explanation of noun. So that noun is things to be explained by adjective clause. Actually, adjective clause, there are many parts. In here, I will just explain about relative pronoun as subject. Well, it's just for subject. So we will get definition of relative pronoun as subject is a clause that describe the subject. So we will get the formula of RPAS is noun followed by conjunction followed by subject followed by verb. It happened that this time the material was about relative pronoun as subject, so we omit the subject formula here. We omit the subject. So the formula just noun followed by conjunction followed by verb. Why between noun and conjunction must always be close together? Because the definition of adjective clause has a function for describe a noun. So between noun and conjunction must be close together. Then followed by verb. So after noun must follow by adjective clause. Like that. Why between noun and conjunction must close together? That's the point. Next, for the connector of relative pronoun as subject, there are three connectors. First, who, for person. Which, second, which, for non-person, like a car, like flower. And third, that, both, can for person or non-person. In here, I have example of relative pronoun as subject. First example, main clause, I told to the woman. Subclause, she is a doctor. Okay guys, how to make these two sentences an adjective clause? First step, we must know who is is mean in the subclause contained in the first sentence or main clause. As we know, she mean here it is the woman. As we know, she mean here it is the woman. In the first sentence, why the woman? Why the woman? Because she in here impossible if for I. So she in here is the woman. When we already know who is intent, we must choose the right connector in adjective clause. Because we know she and the woman is a person, so we can choose connector who that states in the form of a person. And then we can make a sentence like, I talked to the woman who is a doctor. In here, I has a subject, talk has as a predicate to the woman who is to the woman as a noun, the woman as a noun who is a doctor as a adjective clause. Okay guys, of course you have a question, why she in here not written anymore in this sentence? Why is she in here not written anymore in this sentence? Because she has been replaced by who? Who in here is described she, so she doesn't need to be written anymore. Okay guys, so we back to the definition of adjective clause is a subclause served to explain the noun. Adjective clause in here is right because it comes after noun. It's come after noun, which means it function to explain noun of the woman. So that's right. Okay, I have three example. For the next example is like that. Main clause, we see a cat. Subclause, it eats a fish. Then what about when we want to make it an adjective clause? It is the same like the previous example. We must know who is mean in the subclause to the main clause. As we know, it in here mean to the cat in the first sentence or main clause. If it in here mean to the we, it's impossible because it for non-person. We which we know is for the person, so it's impossible if revert to we, it in here. So it in here revert to a cat. So we can do for the next step, we must choose the right connector like this example. We choose connector for the next step in adjective clause. We choose connector which. Why we choose connector which? Because as we know, it and cat in here is a non-person. So for the non-person, we can choose connector which. And then we can make a sentence like, we see a cat which eats a fish. We as a subject, she as a predicate, a cat as a noun, which a fish as a adjective clause. Like example number 1, why it in here not written into this sentence? Again, because it has been replaced by which. So it doesn't written anymore for this sentence because has replaced by which. Which in here is described noun cat. Which in here is described a noun cat. So it doesn't need to be written in here like that. Before we move to the next example, when you want to use connector that in the sentence is no problem. You can use connector that because that for both person or non-person. You can change the sentence become we see a cat that it's a fish. It's right because that can use for person or non-person. So let's move for the next example. Like the previous example, we must know who is means in the subclause. As we know, he in here means to the man in the main clause or first sentence. The next step, we choose the right connector. What the connector we can choose? Because he and the man is a person, we can choose connector who for person. So we get the sentence, I like the man who works in your store. I as a subject, like as a predicate, the man as a noun. Who works in your store is adjective clause. Okay guys, I think that's all I can explain about relative pronoun as subject. For the next part, which will be explained by Putri Shobiroh. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Fenny. Next, I want to explain the second part of adjective clause, relative pronoun as object. There are three kinds of relative pronoun as object: whom, which, and that. Whom, it used to duplicate object in the form of person, so whom cannot use to animals or things. For the example is number 1. The first sentence is, Adit just replied to my email. The second sentence is, I talked to him yesterday. When we combine into Adit, whom I talked to yesterday, just replied to my email. Okay, next is which. Which is used to replace subject and object in the form of animals or things. For the example is number 2. The first sentence is, I like this song. The second sentence is, it is very romantic. When we combine into I like this song, which is very romantic. The last is that. That is used to replace subject and object in the form of animals, things, and people. For the example is number 3. The first sentence is, the laptop is very convenient to use. The second sentence is, I bought it yesterday. When we combine into the laptop that I bought yesterday is very convenient to use. Okay, I think that's all about relative pronoun as object. The next lesson will be explained by Fadham.
Thank you, Putri. Okay, I will explain about RPP, relative pronoun as possessive. Relative pronoun as possessive is pronoun that shows the ownership. I want to explain two conjunctions that use on RPP. The first is whose. Whose used for person or non-person and followed by subject plus verb or verb. Example, Panji is in Batam. Eja brings his shirt. We find the word have the same meaning and refers to ownership. His refers to Panji. So we change his to whose, and then we create that to a sentence. Panji whose shirt Eja brings is in Batam. Panji whose shirt Eja brings is subject, is verb, in Batam is adverb. The second conjunction is of which used for non-person. For example, I read the comic. The title of it is Naruto. We find the word that refers to comic. This word refers to comic, so we change that to of which, and then we create to a sentence. I read the comic, the title of which is Naruto. Okay, I think that's all I can explain about RPP. For next, we'll continue by Mahbub Amrullah.
Thank you, Fadham. Okay, I will continue a discussion about relative adverb. Relative adverb divided the three parts. First, is relative adverb of time and relative adverb of reason. First, relative adverb of place. Relative adverb of place has three conjunctions. That is where, that, in, on, at which. Here are two clauses. The garden is beautiful and I meet my old friend there. Here we will combine two clauses in the one sentences without losing meaning. How? First, we look the some word. This is the garden and there. The garden we brought at a beginning. The garden here, the garden I meet my old friend is beautiful. Beautiful here explaining the garden, not my old friend. Okay, the second, era of time. Era of time has three conjunctions. That is why, that, in, on, at which. This I have two clauses. Did you remember the time and we went to Aini party at 3 p.m. We will combine two clauses in one sentences. How? First we look some word. That is the time and at 3 p.m. And sentences is, did you remember the time when we went any party? The last, era of reason. Era of reason has one sentence. one conjunction, that is why, fall after the word reason, jatuh setelah kata reason. I have a sample. You should give me a reason why you didn't come to my house. And this word reason and this conjunction why and didn't come to my home is clause. I think that's all from me. Then I return it to moderator. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay guys, that's all from us about adjective clause. In brief, adjective clause is dependent clause that modifies noun or pronoun. Thank you for your attention. See you. Bye-bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye-bye!
Thank you for watching and bye bye.
Thank you for watching. Bye bye.